Hey,
Robin,
Jack, the Inwits.
We are back. Okay,
Yeah.
so 4 episodes to recap,
4.
but this will be our regular
schedule.
Wednesday after Tuesday night show, we'll film and upload, and it should be out, fingers crossed, every Wednesday night.
That's it.
Unless something comes up.
Yeah, it'd be insane to do one every day.
Yeah, anyway, on with the show.
On with the show.
Okay, before we start, I just want to say, I know we're going to talk about Australian Survivor as a whole before we get into gameplay, so I thought we'll get that out in the open. We're going to talk about this, I feel like, week in, week out, so I'm going to say it again. Australian Survivor do challenges better than other Survivors.
Oh, they do. It's really amazing.
We do great challenges, don't we?
The ball one.
Yeah,
The
haven't
new
seen
ball
that
one
before.
was great.
There's always something new, and it
Yeah.
blows my mind how we have something that, after watching 38 seasons of this show, and
Exactly.
you're like, this is
New,
refreshing.
fresh. I was like, wow, that's a great idea.
Extra little tweaks on already
Established games.
ideas. Yeah,
that's
so I
right.
really, really like that.
I do too. Look, they had the standard games, like, knock down the blocks.
Yeah, got all the standards, but and sometimes they've got the standards with a bigger obstacle
That's right.
course in the middle. And you don't want to get rid of all the standards, but sometimes they throw in those new ones. I
love them.
I love the one how you had to. There was the plank, and it was about pure force to get around the circle. I loved that one. I think that was the second episode. I don't know.
It's hard to remember.
It's hard to remember with this, but I love these little ones. I love the simple ones. I love the old. Yeah, just want to say props to the team behind the challenges because they are smashing it.
Look, even the even the footy one in the water.
Yeah.
It's basically rugby. You go and get the ball.
Yeah,
and then you kick it back, and then
it's
footy to kick it.
There's something similar. I think they've got that. We've seen that before.
Right,
But it has a more footy vibe, doesn't it?
It's
Because
a
the shape. Yeah, it's a shape
that's what
of
I
a
mean.
football
It's an
now.
footy, right?
Not just a round ball.
That's right. And what else? Yeah, no, I really enjoy the challenges. I enjoy when they come up to the challenges.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying that we are getting immunity reward. I'm enjoying that we get a smaller reward challenge, a larger immunity challenge. Really enjoying that format, really enjoying that setup. What we are both equally not enjoying is backstory.
Yeah.
I suppose that's not so much editing, it's just why they're just deciding backstory is such an important thing in Australian Survivor.
I have a little bit of an issue with the editing around the stuff around camp, because a lot of times they just show you stuff around camp and you're like, that was nice.
Yeah. I'm watching, because here I am, I was like, of course, what else is there to do around camp?
Yeah.
Nothing other than, we'll play bowling, we'll have little games.
Exactly.
We don't see that in American Survivor because we're just trying to fill it with the gameplay. But here we're filling it with the bonding and the mateship of Australian Survivor.
And while that's nice, it's not on point.
Yeah.
I want to see the development of the game. Look, maybe it's just the contestants aren't talking it at the game enough. I don't know.
Well, depending on the tribes, I think, the champions most of them have never seen the game. Don't know enough about the game.
Yeah.
And if they've seen anything, they've only seen Australian Survivor.
Yeah.
Personally. But, so I would just get rid of a lot of the backstory. 90 to 100% of the backstory, just piss it off. Don't need to see these cutaways. I don't need to see Sarah vacuuming or her feet walking towards the ocean 17 times. We've seen that shot. We don't need to play it every episode, and just because she's coming up to something that she's afraid of in one of the challenges, we don't need to replay it again.
No, we don't.
We've moved on. Let's just get into it. We've got an hour and a half show, and it's filled with 15 minutes of backstory.
That's right.
So that's a bit frustrating, and I don't think we're ever going to see that removed.
Well, the problem
in the
is,
Australian format.
So far, every episode's been about 70 plus minutes long.
Yeah,
and that's a lot to go through.
But 15 minutes have been backstory. 15 minutes at least.
That's right. Exactly.
Have been backstory.
And that only takes it down to an hour.
I mean, we talk about the first episode. The first 11 minutes were nothing had actually happened. That's what we're getting.
If you take out the backstory, you're down to an hour an episode.
Yeah, last night I think we had the first opening was just all about Daisy's backstory. Before we even got it's all there. This backstory stuff's there, and I'm sure we're going to get more characters.
As you said prior to filming, you didn't need to see her riding around the bike.
I don't need to see Daisy on the cattle farm.
All she had to do was say, I worked on a cattle farm in the southwest of wherever it was.
Yeah, Queensland,
New South Wales, or whatever. I get the picture.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. I get what you do. I don't need to see James from American Survivor go, I'm a gravedigger, and then a cut of him and his bulging biceps digging a grave. So I get it. I can see he's a grave. I get it. You know, I don't need this sort of backstory, and I really wish.
When Sarah says she's a cleaner, right? Parliament House, I go, okay, she's a cleaner for Parliament House.
We don't need the epic shot, like I said last episode, of the Ghostbuster sort of chucking on my backpack, loading my. I don't need that.
That's right. You know.
It's unimportant and it slows.
I think the worst one was, Janine. I'm the CEO of Boost Juice, right?
And I just walk around an office.
And that's what I mean. All you see is walking around an office.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and look, I guess I just want to get it out. We know we're going to see it, and that's.
I'd rather I don't want them to talk about their backstory. I don't want to know about that really because they'll talk about it anyway.
They talk about
right?
it. We get bits and pieces. We get enough.
We'll get it at, like at the reward challenge where they went to the fish and chip shop.
I actually did not mind that.
No, that's great, right? They all talked about. Things in their life. That's fantastic. But that's what normally happens at these sorts of reward challenges.
Those bonding moments. I actually really liked that. And
it's organic though.
Yeah, it was forced because the papers were there.
No, but what I mean is, it's an organic situation where they've put in a prop to spark it, and then it's happened, right?
Yeah, and we get a little bit. We get Luke talking about his two autistic boys and his third child. She's got cystic fibrosis. Yeah, I'm like, and you feel for Luke there.
Oh, boy, you feel for Luke.
Yeah, and it's like these are moments that are actually I've really liked that little moment where we got to see a bit of all.
But at the end of the day, you've got to sit there and look.
And if you want to do cutaways at that moment, I'm okay with cutaways there.
See, that's actually a good part of the game. That's actually part of the game as far as I'm concerned when Luke says something like that or anybody else says something like that. Because at the end of the day, the other contestants have to sit there and deal with that then. The other contestants have to sit there and go, wow, Luke's in a tough spot, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm going to cut his throat to get them $500,000.
Well, maybe.
No, but that's what they
should be thinking.
No, that's what I mean. They've got to come to that. Even if they don't think it at that moment, later on when they leave the shack, they've got to come to that realisation. They better leave the game. Yeah. Because it's over. You know what I mean? So, anyway, no.
So that's I guess maybe I just want to get that out. Hopefully we will not talk about how annoying the backstories are to us after this episode. Hopefully.
Well, the only problem I have is, like I said, 75 minutes an episode. I'm not really getting any more content that I get out of an American episode of 44.
Yeah. So, okay, now on with the proper reps.
Episode 2.
Yeah, what do you got?
I liked Andy. Andy at the start of episode 2, right, goes, there's no superfan, there's no strategy person around here to talk to.
Yeah.
He was like, look, everybody else around here, I'm the only superfan here. There is no other superfan.
Was Ep 2 when he was chatting to Brayden? Or Baden?
No.
That was Ep 1.
Yeah. No.
And Baden was like, there's 20 episodes. There's 20 years of it.
That's this episode.
I was like, oh god, that.
And Andy just sort of said, he said, what was it? You'd have to have watched it. You'd have to be 10 years older than I am or something, right?
He's like,
and Andy was just sitting there really nonplussed, like, you've obviously never heard of, being so enthused by a show that you actually
go back and watch it. He's like, there's 20 years of the show to watch.
Yeah.
Well, there's 20 years of the show to watch. I'm like, well, why are you there?
I like Andy because he's actually, with that statement, he's proven to me that he is a super fan.
He's a super fan. The one thing I don't like about Andy,
go ahead,
is he seems to be pushing an angle that he wants to be this, and he's showing, but he isn't that. If he just came in as a super fan and he's just acting a little too much for me. There's a little bit of acting there behind his stuff. However, I don't mind him. I like the fact that I trust the fact that he's a super fan.
I'm not sure if it's an act, but he does come across as over enthusiastic a bit.
Yeah,
what I mean is when he hugs you, he seems to hug you, enthusiastic.
It comes off a little bit forced to me, a little bit fake. There's a fakeness to the way he is. I reckon if I sat down with him in a bar and chatted Survivor with him, he'd be a totally different person. He'd be there. I feel like he's got a bit of fakeness that's there for the camera.
Okay.
Personally.
Look, I think.
And I just want to see people being there.
Well, one of the unfortunate things from episode 2 to 5, right? I didn't expect to see this. I was really hoping it wouldn't turn out this way, but they only went to tribal once.
Well, that's this is why I said, I think last week, did I say that I'm actually okay not being on this season? Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
Because they've kind of stacked it up.
I'm a bit surprised and I'm a little disappointed because Andy's only going to get a chance to show us whether or not he is a super fan by going to council, by going to the tribe.
Well, you know what? Yeah. However, I do think he shows us in the challenges Andy is in all the things that are typically Survivor.
Yeah.
He's throwing, he's rolling the ball.
Absolutely.
Every single end part of a challenge, Andy's there because he's practiced the shit out of that.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of it too, right?
You know he's practiced those little things.
It's almost like Andy's like the when it comes to ball games, whether it's throwing or rolling or whatever, he's almost like the Joe.
Yeah.
Of ball games, like if you can get the ball to Joe, if you can get the balls to Andy, right, you win.
Yeah, he's knocking down the wall pretty easy. He's rolling in the loop pretty easy. He's throwing the sandbags on the poles pretty easy.
Exactly.
Andy, that's where I'm like, yeah, cool, super fan. Your strategy might be limited because no one else is a super fan.
Yeah.
Or no one else seems to understand the game there or enough of the game. But what we're seeing is someone who knows what they're expecting in challenges and has practiced them. And that's really refreshing and awesome.
Oh, no.
Really awesome.
It's great to see. But no, I think... But look, when they did finally go to council, I think Andy got together with Harry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they actually did put together a plan, and actually their plan came off. And I liked Andy saying, I'm going to let Harry take the front running on this.
Who did they get rid of again?
Laura. Right? But the only problem I have with that is this. We talk about this a lot, that you should be in control without being in control, right? The problem is, for that is I saw Andy and Harry talked about it, then Harry actually went off and pulled it off.
Mm.
Andy didn't seem to really be the one helping to make it happen.
So he was too far in the background.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be at the front. Yeah. I agree with that, because you're gonna, like he said, you can take the bullets. If there's a backfire, whoever's at the front's going to take the bullet, right? But you still have to be part of the process, because you also have to convince people.
You can't be completely invisible.
You can't be invisible. You have to convince people. Well, I was part of that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like you hear what he's going on and what he's doing in his one-on-one confessional moments. Yeah. When he chats to camera, you hear those because you don't see it on the and that's great. I actually, I don't mind the fact that I don't think he's a villain. He's been pushed as the villain. No. He's not a villain in the slightest, and that's something.
I think we have a villain actually, but we'll talk about that.
Oh, okay.
And it's not Andy. It's not Andy.
Still have a villain?
No. I think we're going to have our first villain. If the show keeps rolling, I think it's going to get better and better.
Oh, Dave.
Or worse and worse. Yeah. Dave is shaping up very nicely as a villain.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyway, that was Andy. I have to say I like David from episode 2, right? Because he said, look, if I take my shirt off, it gets me further in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And he was taking his shirt off to make sure that Abby was...
And he flirts with Abby. Yeah.
And he flirts with Abby to make sure that Abby feels comfortable about.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah, it works.
It works, right? So, I like that.
Yeah.
He's using whatever tools are available to him. Yeah. That's good. Luke gets an idol in episode 2.
Yeah, okay, so... Because obviously watching that, and Luke...
Would you have waited tonight?
Yeah, why not? I don't mind that. I love that.
Okay, no,
I thought he might risk not getting it.
Exactly, that's what I thought.
It's he waited till night, and he said something, Survivor happens at night. Whatever the quote he says, and he's right. Boston Rob wins, and he says, I didn't sleep. I spent the whole night planning.
True.
So at night, got no issues with him going for it at night. Gets it at night. I love the fact that he gets the clue and does a little cigar smoke.
I know.
Luke is just great. Luke is great, and hopefully I see a Luke and John bromance forming later on when we get tribal mergers. But that's later on down the track, if they make it. Now, Luke finds the idol clue, and then instantly...
I know what you're going to say, because I wrote it down too.
Instantly decides to use that to build trust with Dave. Not needed. He could have, if he wanted to, what he could have done, even though he probably would have found it without Dave there. If he wanted to, he could have gone out and found that idol on his own, and then... If you really needed to, do a Boston Rob and show the clue and gone, I found this clue.
Yeah, exactly.
You've already got the idol. You can go looking for it together. Never find it. Assume someone else might have it.
Exactly.
Where the whole time you have it. It's just...
Cardinal mistake.
Yeah, and this is... Yes, Luke has played the game before, but Luke's played Australian Survivor before. Luke's only watched highlights from what we can tell of American Survivor because he pulls out the Tony move.
Exactly.
He mimics a couple of little things.
But his gameplay,
that is 101 rule. Never just go out and say.
I know.
That's not. You shouldn't do that after a man's there. So that shows in his inexperience, even as a returnee.
It turns further because immediately after he gets to the bloody thing, he says, "Now I've got power." Another big mistake.
Well, no, he did have power, and this is what I was thinking about in this. So obviously,
no, but Nigel doesn't give you power.
Well, no.
It gives you an opportunity.
It gives you an opportunity. And in this case, we were watching this thing, and obviously Luke's in the minority here.
Yeah.
With Steve and his ridiculous idea of how Survivor should be played, pushing this 7-strong agenda.
Well, it's not ridiculous. I mean, it's the standard that you get most times. It's that...
It is the standard, but the way he approached it was ridiculous.
It wasn't. Like,
he had no...
He's done the old... 7 strong. Like, remember...
yes, I know.
He's doing the old,
but it's just the way
strong.
he did it. Like, even when people would say something, try to question, and he'd be like, no, we can't do that. Be open.
Of course, he was trying to make sure... He was... Look, the best way to say that is he's in unfamiliar territory, right?
Yes,
and he's just ripping onto whatever he's got,
yeah,
right?
And obviously the numbers do play a massively large portion of getting the vote on your side. However, it's more to just getting numbers, and he didn't understand that.
Absolutely. Look, as I said, day one, look, picking 7 athletes and go, look, 7 athletes, we stick together, blah, 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 right? That's such a simple thing, but it's what you do on day one, right?
Yeah.
But as you go further in the game, you're going to find people you want to play with,
yeah, and
people you don't.
He never did that. He
never did. Neither did Nova.
Yeah.
Neither did E.T. or Simon Black, right? But Abby did. Abby sat there and said to him after she betrayed.
And Ross did himself.
Right? But Abby said, well, there were some people in this alliance I didn't want to play with effectively. She said I didn't.
And people didn't make me feel comfortable.
And you were one of them, right? And I'm like, that's Abby saying, sure, there was an alliance of 7, but I don't want to play with all the 7 people.
Yeah, and Steve should have been doing the same thing.
Exactly.
Steve, if you've set up this 7 alliance, great, good on you. You've set up the 7 alliance.
Gets you through one vote.
Gets you through one vote.
No problem.
And also, it gives you strength going forward to work out who you want to work with while you've got a potential 7 floating around there who some of them don't know the game. Could easily just follow along and not pay much attention and play along with this mateship, honour, loyalty bullshit that is not Survivor, who they seem to think is the only way to play the game. While you manipulate and wheel and deal.
Look, that's the thing. Yeah, it's not like at the end of the day, though, Steve has actually come out and gone, well, I'm going to side with, I really liked Nova.
Yeah.
Or I really liked E.T. or I liked Simon, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to work with them, and if the 7 breaks up,
I'm going to go by myself.
I'm going to go with them, and we're going to try, nothing like that. No, he just was happy with his setup.
Yeah.
Really,
it's simple.
It's
the most simplistic thing ever, but also he was in so much control of that 7, he thought.
Yeah.
This is what I was wondering, and I don't know, maybe I was wrong because it's all panned out correctly anyway, but Luke gets this idol. No one else seems to be hunting idols. Even though apparently, like, one of the live chats I asked, I was like, why didn't you go looking for an idol? Who
to?
Not Susie. Who went before Susie? Who was the first boot?
The first boot?
Yeah,
was
champions.
Anastasia.
Anastasia, yeah, I asked. I said, why didn't you go looking for an idol? And she's like, I was just too late, blah, blah, blah. And Luke had been out there looking.
But that's the point, isn't it? You don't go looking when you find your head's on the block.
Yeah, exactly. Of course it's too late. But
it's too late.
So what I was thinking is Luke gets this idol. We all know they're pushing for Pia.
Well, one good thing about this is, though, Luke has actually learned something from his previous stint on Survivor, because he's like, I never looked for an idol last time.
Yes. So that is a progression.
That is a progression.
Definite progression.
Yeah.
But what could he have done? Like, I just thought, all right, there's this big 7, and look, it's worked out perfectly, and he still kept his idol. But I would have gone, cool, they're going for Pia. There's not much we can do. I'll just play that, vote out Steve.
I think he did it the best way. He did it through his social game.
He did it through social game. And
Absolutely.
So I feel like my version, I'm like, I didn't see a way. I'm like, if there's no way to break that social game, which they ended up there was, they saw that Abby and Ross came across because Susie was so weak.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm sure she would have been fine in swimming, but like you said, she's a marathon swimmer swimming 100 plus Ks. She's not a speed swimmer.
Not a speed swimmer.
She's not sitting there just smashing the ocean really quickly. She's going at a pace, so she probably can't do that. She might have mental endurance come because it takes a lot of mental stamina to get through the pain threshold when it comes down to individual immunity challenges.
Yeah.
However, that doesn't benefit you.
No, exactly.
It doesn't benefit you later on down the track. So she serves no purpose. So targeting her through the social game was a great move.
Mm-hmm.
I just would have potentially used the idol and got rid of Steve and got rid of a target. However, the following night, they did the same thing, and when it was Steve, when that blow up did happen, which Steve is just foolish.
Oh, wow. It's like you said, somebody who's never played the game. And look, I think he's let his emotions get the better of him at that moment when he's fighting Abby. He's just like, well, I'm feeling, whatever frustration and anger he's feeling about, the situation, he's let it come out.
Yeah.
And I think he's regretted afterward. Normally when you make a decision in anger, when you look back and you think, I think I could have done better.
And what it comes down to is like your plan didn't work.
Exactly. That's right.
Get over it.
Same with Nova. Nova was super annoyed. And it was all about, well, your plan didn't work, Nova. Bad luck.
Yeah, that's the game.
Right?
There is 12 other plans happening at any one moment because there's 12 people in the tribe.
And then to denigrate somebody because they've got their own plan?
Yeah.
Not on.
Yeah, that's not the way the game is. And
you can say their bad's a bad plan. You can sit there and say, look, you've got a bad plan. You should have stuck with us.
Yeah.
And you can criticise it like that, right? Because you can point out the pitfalls. You can say, well, now you've just flipped to the bottom.
Right? But that always never works because you're like, I flipped because I was already on the bottom.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Like you can even say things like, I have no problem with him actually saying things like, well, you betrayed your word to us. I'm happy with that because she did, right? But this is a game of
betrayal.
Right?
Like that's the game.
Like there is game.
My word was to follow you until 7.
7? Right? No. She never said that.
No, like I'm going to go out. Okay, this is how it's going to structure. I'll go out at 4. Blackie will go out at 3.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you'll make it to final 2, and we will all vote for you. Sure, let's do that. No.
In which case, why come to the island just vote in the studio, right?
Yeah.
But no, look, the other criticism you had of it, which was a really poor one, I thought, was well, you should have told us before you left.
Why?
Because then if I tell you, the whole thing falls apart.
Sorry, I'm not going to vote with you. Well, what's going to happen? We've got to scramble now. What are you thinking? This is not how Survivor is played, Stephen. It isn't.
Yeah, he wants maybe somebody to go down to the to the mailbox and put up a notice. I hereby leave the group of 7. And here's what I'm going to do. Maybe that was his next criticism. Well, you could have told us what you were going to do.
Blows my mind. Blows my mind.
This is somebody who's clearly never watched the show and never played them.
No, clearly not. Never. He's just come on for the prize.
Exactly.
And it just, it was foolish. None of that
made sense. It wasn't a criticism of Abby. It was actually just a criticism of Survivor.
Yeah, him not understanding how Survivor works. And him struggling to deal.
That's right. Oh, well, you got to tell us what you do. That's a criticism of the show, not of the person. Yeah,
it's actually, that was her strength to move away and play her game that was better for her. Not a weakness, that's a strength.
And really, that's all Abby had to say to him was, well, I played my game to put myself in a better position. What can you say to that?
That's not weak, that's strong.
That's strong, and you can just go, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's all you can say at the end of the day. Or, okay, I don't like the way you did it, which I think you end up doing, which is okay. You can say, I don't like the way you did it,
but even don't say that.
No,
like, you can say it, but just don't, because you look like a dick.
No, that's right, because that puts you in a weaker position, right? Yeah. But no, so I think...
having a tantrum over a failed plan is never a good idea.
And we do see it, even in the American...
Oh, you see it.
You see it a lot, right? But I'm going to give Steve some kudos here.
I'm giving him 0 kudos.
Wait. Because they did go and apologise to Abby, but I think it was more out of necessity.
I think it was because people told him he probably should apologise to Abby.
No, but he did apologise. But then later on in the episode before he got booed, right, he did actually sit there and say to camera, well, this is the situation I'm in.
I'm going to have to try.
I didn't realise the social game was that important, which I love Dave's take on that, which was like, you didn't realise it. It's a social game.
Dave also went, social game is important just in
life.
not
That's
only
right,
survival.
that's right.
And the social game is so important.
In life, right? But I was laughing at this and I'm thinking to myself, but that's where Steve died. Seriously, if you're in episode 5 and you go, I didn't realise, kudos to him for having the revelation.
Yeah, you're on the island for 12 days and going, oh, there's a social aspect
to this game. And I think once you heard that, you can understand why he was happy with, okay, our sisters 7 stick together, and that was his plan.
Yeah, because he had no concept of what the game is about.
But then after he had the realisation, he actually did go out and try to do something about it. And that's why I'm going to give him some kudos, because he did have the realisation and he did try to change.
Of course, yeah, he did try, but he put so many people on the best side. Because even the episode before that, so before Nova gets booed, his plans fall into pieces. He's off under a cave, sweeping out his own bed. He's like, I am no longer with them. I'm going to be by myself.
That was very poor choice.
Exclude yourself from everybody.
Don't worry, they'll exclude you if they want to, right?
Yeah, exactly. You'll feel it.
You'll feel it.
Don't go off there on your own and have a little sook and make your own bed.
I thought that was sooky.
Oh, God.
Right? But look, that's why I'm giving kudos to Steve, because I think he really did know nothing about the game when he came in.
Fair enough.
And by the end of it, he has actually evolved. There has been some movement, right?
Yeah. Well, he was forced.
It was forced. Oh, but a lot of times in Survivor, it is forced.
Yeah, it's true. You have no other option.
Like Dave, the classic, weedy little guy who comes into all that was forced, But at the end,
he had to change.
He had to change.
Yeah. So, look, we're jumping ahead.
Oh, no, but look, these are the themes that run through.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pick stuff out as I go through, and then we'll obviously wander off and talk about
it. Yeah, sweet. That sounds good. Because I wanted to,
go ahead.
With what I did like, because we're still on this theme.
Yeah.
Steve's just made a massive, absolute ass of himself. And it was, Dave's arced up. Everyone's pissed off. And Nova's, Luke's genius to go, you know what? Maybe we don't get rid of Steve just yet, because Steve's killed himself.
Absolutely. Look,
Steve is just a dead man walking right now.
I think
But who else is causing trouble in the tribe?
I think it was a brilliant move to pick everybody except the people in that alliance thought it was Steve going.
Yeah.
And when Nova went, all of them were like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Right? But that's the way you play Survivor.
You
know this, and we see it so often. Why get rid of Steve now when you can get rid of another target? And
who's not expecting it.
And you already know who the next vote's going to be.
Yeah.
You've lined up 2 votes, not 1.
It was so good. It was well played by Luke to go, you know what? I know this is the thing, but I'm just going to throw this out there.
Absolutely. And look...
Because Nova was also troublesome. Steve and Nova were cancerous to that tribe.
Absolutely. Look, and he knows he can keep Ross for that vote.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Ross is one of the swingers, right?
Ross is a wild card.
Right?
You never...
So we know we can get...
Part of me feels like Ross might just leave at any given time. He's like, I've had enough of this. This was fun for 15 days. I can't be bothered anymore.
That's right. But, no, I think it was brilliant because, they know that Steve's going to be the next vote. We'll get rid of Nova. He can keep Ross for that vote because he knows Ross doesn't like her, right? He knows Abby's on board with getting rid of Nova. So and he's taken 2 of them out, not 1, so that if Ross or Abby do flip, it's not a major drama for them. That's a really good plan.
It was a really, really
really well
thought out. Here I'm like, why are we going... You've got an idol, you've got a chance to get rid of a Steve, but you're trying to focus it on another weaker target. Who, yes, I get Susie's weak. Susie's not great for challenges. You want a good pitch. Well done on the pitch of what do you want. But at the end of the day, she's kind of pointless. She's pointless. That's where you can push... We can get rid of someone who's causing friction in the tribe instantly with this, but it worked out well. And to then flip it again the next night and go, you know what?
Oh, no, I think it was brilliant.
Bye-bye.
It's one of those moves that you don't really see in Survivor. They do pick the obvious person.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of times we complain about, we say, well, they were already on the outer. Getting rid of them doesn't actually do anything.
No, it doesn't.
Right? And it was the same for Steve. No, Steve was never going to pull anybody from their alliance.
No.
But so get rid of somebody else and then get rid of Steve. It's 2 for 1.
It was a really great play by Luke, and that's showing the difference between someone who has played the game before and everyone on that tribe who hasn't, because they obviously Luke's orchestrated this blindside, but all the other people on the other side had no clue what was coming.
Zero clue, because it was easy to do.
Yeah.
keep it within the alliance, and so
because then you go with Steve was pushing for Pia. Why?
Right. It was really weird, wasn't
Steve was
it?
pushing for Pia. I'm like, we're still pushing for the two weakest people here. There's no like Susie Pia. Now it's going to be myself or Pia.
Maybe, and this is the only thing I can think of. Maybe he didn't think he could sell anybody else to ET and Blackie.
They're not who you would be selling it to. You could sell Ross.
No. Before you sell it to Ross and that, right? You have to sell it to ET and Blackie, right?
Well, ET and Blackie are going to go with the three of them.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is like he's got to convince those two first that it's going to be Pia, right? Or whoever, right? Whoever. Then he's going to take to Ross. You sort of trying to get it?
But this is the thing,
and
right?
if you had said, let's get rid of Luke or Dave, right? Which
Dave,
would have been their preference.
I would have been pushing for Dave because like
Same
Dave
here.
treated you like, because Dave came up and demanded it's
right.
I'd be like, you know what? Let's flip this.
Yeah.
4 of them go for Dave.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like that. I'm like, why are you aiming for Pia? Dave's an easy. Dave's made himself a target by the childish way he's come and attacked you.
Absolutely. But that's what I don't understand why it was Pia. And the only reason I could think of, I had that thought during the episode, was maybe Steve has to sell it. Like, not just to Ross, but to Blackie and ET. ET and Blackie, despite what they've done, they're not going to go for a weaker tribe. Right? They're not going to pick one of the strong guys.
Maybe but yeah.
Right, and Dave is the strong guy, right? And they want to be strong.
But he's glamour. He's glamour muscles, man. You saw the way Sean threw him aside in that challenge.
Right, but
he looks good, but then he's like a paperweight. Just throw him aside.
Remember what ET said, had a one-on-one with camera, which in the last episode, professional rugby player, right? And he actually came out on camera and said, he was really frustrated. He was like, this is wrong. Everything we're doing is wrong as a tribe. Boom, boom. Mm-hmm. He was really upset, right?
Normally, he's like, I put this because ET's a fit 50-year-old.
Absolutely,
he's fit, and he's like, I put them up in front, and they screw it up at the end.
But for somebody like ET to say that about his team, you have to have a very high frustration level. For a team player at a professional level to come out and criticise his home team like that to the public, very high frustration level for that to happen, right?
And it's just funny because he could have pushed it at Ross because Ross was useless.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, I think it's weird that he's picked Pia, right? But on the other hand, I think Blackie and ET would have sat there and gone, no, until we can win challenges, I'm not picking any big guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was definitely a cause for discussion. You want someone to treat you like that?
Absolutely.
Dave and Dave thinks he's on top, and as soon as I'm now so powerful, we know that's an edit to you're about to get the elimination. Like, to say that, I was like, he said that, and then he attacked ET and Blackie. I'm like, oh god, this is leading up to potential. Because if I was on the receiving end of that, I would have been trying to swindle and manipulate him to go.
Well, the thing is, I think the interesting thing we see in that episode is, look, ET and Blackie and Steve, who's gone now, and who's the other one? Who's the other one with them?
Well, it's Nova. Ross was a potential.
Okay, yeah, Ross was a potential.
Ross was the potential.
Yeah, Ross was the potential. That's right. They wouldn't have appreciated it, right? But the really interesting thing is we see Pia, Janine, and Abby don't appreciate it either.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, you shouldn't be talking to them like that. And not just from and they it's not just a social thing with it.
Yeah.
It's also from a gameplay point of view. You don't dominate people like that and tell them, that's it, this is the way it's going to be.
And that's why I think it would have been an easier sell to potentially push it to Janine and a Pia or someone who goes, you know what? Because Pia's obviously always on the bottom for this weakness, because she's not an athlete, but she's quick, she's little, she's nimble. But
it came through in the rope challenge.
Yeah, she's like, I blew you all to pieces in that challenge. We've all got different strengths, which Steve can't seem to understand. But I think it would have been, should have been a point of discussion, is all.
Oh, no, good. But what I think is interesting is that the seeds have been planted in his own alliance.
Yes. They've
seen what Dave is like without having to experience.
100%.
They've experienced it without
being on the receiving end.
The receiving end, right? They know if Dave has a clique within that alliance, if that then becomes dominant, that's what he's going to treat. Then, like, I think Dave's put a big target on his back without knowing it. Right? He should never have said that to in front of people.
No, or he should have just been a bit more cash. We're going to be voting Steve tonight.
Look, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, but that's what most of us are doing.
That's right.
Keep it casual. Keep it friendly.
You don't have to spell out that it's in their best interest.
Yeah.
All you have to do is say, look, we're all voting for Steve.
Yeah. Look, if you've got any other ideas, we'd love to hear them. But this is what we're doing. If you want to join us, we'd love to have you.
And then you let them go away. And if they come back and go, okay, we're on board with that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that have to make the play to get back in.
Because putting an ET and a Blackie on the outs, I'd rather have them on my alliance.
Absolutely.
I'd rather have them on my side.
This is one of the other points I was going to go to later in the thing, but what should we do? Blackie and ET are a good pick-up, Luke, at this stage.
Well, Luke's fine, but like Dave's the one who's like, look at me, I'm a washboard, like I'm shredded. I need 2 physical guys to cover me. Well, no, I need that as shields. I need them to be some strength.
I'm thinking from the Lions' point of view, right?
Loyalty for Alliance as well. They seem to be strong. They don't know the game.
Well, no, this is the thing. It's with the once Nova winged, if I was Luke or if I was Janine or somebody else who's maybe thinking a little deeper into the game, I would be sitting there right now when Nova went going, okay, Steve's the next one, that only leaves those 2 at the end.
They're numbers for me.
They're numbers for me. Go and get them now.
I know.
Right? Try, because this alliance is about to disintegrate.
Yeah.
Because the people that you formed it for are gone.
And you're falling into the trap of what Stephen was trying to do. Now we've got the majority of the numbers. Who gives a shit?
Exactly.
You can change that up at any given time if you're in control.
Exactly. And at this stage,
for you, for Luke, Luke's is buddy with Dave. What is in both of your best interests? Okay, cool. Let's try and flip on the girls.
Exactly.
Let's try and flip now.
Or Pia says to Abby, look, what are we going to do now? There's only ET and Blackie left. We need to do something.
Yeah, because you sit there and you're like, oh yeah, sweet. Pia, Abby, Janine seem to be forming a nice little tight. Well, then this leaves Luke and David 2 versus 3 there. If you go, because that's a potential. Exactly. That's a potential option. That's always look at every potential for a split. I've partnered up with one person, but those 3 are partnering up together.
Exactly. So these people, even though they've had that 7 alliance or 6 alliance, whatever it is, right? People in that alliance now have to look and say, well, what's the next stage? It's not the 6 anymore.
No.
It's going to be a 3 or a 4. Or ET and Blackie are half of that.
Yeah.
I can go grab them now.
And they can come as a package.
Yeah.
The boys, 4 to 3.
Exactly.
You're done. You set yourself up. You don't burn bridges. And this is why Dave's big... That was the only moment to me that went, Dave, that I reckon he's pretty soon to go.
Oh, look, when you say I'm in control...
You're going next. You're going in the next 3 weeks.
Exactly. Oh, I don't give him 2, 3, but all I mean is like... It's one thing to say you're in control, but if you've got that majority alliance, there's only 2 people outside of it. Somebody in that alliance should have the brains to go, time to change it.
Yeah, and also the fact that you put them offside.
And when you go to them, what's going to be the easiest sell?
Yeah.
If Luke or Addy goes to them and goes, look, it's time to change this up. The 6 isn't going to work anymore, but we need to be in the top. There's one name they're going to say straight up.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be, let's get rid of Dave.
Yeah.
He's done. You know?
The girls can go easily grab him and bring him over. It's just a bit of a foolish thing. For someone who did play with some, he was thinking ahead. He saw Janine grab a clue.
He's not a dummy.
No, yeah, that's the thing. Like for he's not your Rowan from season 1.
No.
Guy. He's clever. He saw Janine. He picked up on that, and I thought that was great because Janine was foolish to try and how she tried to grab the clue.
Do you want to talk about that now?
Well, I was going to go more towards Dave's element of it. Yeah. Sure, go to it.
No, we'll go back later.
Because Janine tries to grab a clue in front of everybody, but
hey, look. But one thing I didn't see, and this is interesting about the shot, right? You see a shot of it under the table. And then the next shot is her bending down to pick it up. Well, I have no idea how it got on the floor.
I thought she just grabbed it under there, or did she?
No. It's actually on the floor.
She may have knocked it.
Bends down and picks it up.
She may have knocked it.
But what I mean is it was supposed to be on the back of the table or something. So I don't know how it got down there. Maybe somebody else knocked it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But she messes that around. I don't know why I actually don't mind this idol.
Oh, no, I think it's a good change.
I don't mind this title.
I like
part of me, all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, we get Luke saying every time there's a reward challenge, there's a clue. No, there's not. And then the next episode, we get Janine going, every time there's a reward challenge, there's always a clue. I'm like, no, there's not. That shouldn't be the case. I don't want that to be set up. Like, there's always a clue in every reward challenge. It shouldn't be like that. Yes, keep your eyes open. There could be a clue.
Exactly.
But anyway, she gets
I still love that one from the American Survivor last season. Everything you need is here.
Yeah, and it was the sign.
And it was the sign right at the front. Just flip. I was like, "Come on! It says great. Everything you need is here."
Yeah, it's great.
We both picked up on it, didn't we?
So
for that episode, it was awesome. Great, right out in front of you.
But I like how Dave approaches this.
Yeah, no, Dave's doing well. Like he seems to be thinking deeply. He seems to be able to put it together.
Yeah, and he's gone and he's heard and he's found out, and Janine not foolishly, Janine's kind of caught in a rock and hard place where she's like, fuck, they've seen me hide this. I have to.
Oh,
I'm out of it.
It's too late once
they've it's too
go.
late, yeah.
But I would have said something like, oh, it's just an advantage. I get an extra vote, next vote.
Yeah, but she's shown this thing and she's shown the idol, and now he knows both idols, which is great.
Actually, let's go. Because this is one of the things that you've got to be really careful of in Survivor. It's not something we talk about a lot, but we do every summer. Information is so vital, and people think, oh, well, who cares if they know, this, or who cares if they know if they're going home? Everybody's voting for them, and all that. Information is so. Here's Dave has picked up. This is fine. Janine's basically told him all the information about the idol. He's then gone and used the information to get Janine's idol.
Yeah, that's Janine's idol.
That's Janine's idol. And she's happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is insanity.
Because now you've got a useless idol.
That's right.
That was leverage to get the other idol.
She was like, going to hit it on to merge, in which case it becomes useless, right?
Yeah, I probably would have just given it to John.
But that's what I mean. Like, why would you let Dave have your idol?
Yeah.
Can I have the paper so I can make a false? Oh, yeah, sure, here you go. That's your idol you're giving away.
You've just given away all your power. Now you really have a useless idol.
Right.
Like, you can't do anything with that unless you give it to someone you like, that can't even save you with it.
Not many people get an idol in this game. Not when you add up all the numbers. You might see an idol, but actually the numbers who get idols are quite small, right? You just let somebody else have yours.
Yeah. Like, Dave did such a great job to get that. Like, he's pulled the skull off. He's seen what it looks like, pulled the skull off tree mail, and made an idol out of it.
Why couldn't have Janine gone to Sean and said, "Oh, look, next time, oh, Dave doesn't have it, I've got it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, get your idol. Get your idol.
It's too late.
Dave might complain about you being a cheat and blah 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 blah. At the end of the day, though, it's your idol.
Yeah, it's literally that's what you got this idol for, to switch with the other idol.
Right. I couldn't believe it. I was like, Janine, you do realise you're giving up. And she does. I don't think she realises
the importance of what just happened then.
Exactly.
Because her idol is now, there is nothing she can do or use with her idol.
That's
she can just give it away for the sake of giving it away with someone she kind of likes and wants to save.
And they only last till merge. So
No, it didn't say that.
Yeah, can I use it?
No, only a contender can use it for a contender. So even if they merge...
I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Because
it's...
Well, it's still champions versus contenders. Yeah. No, only a contender can use it. I'm pretty sure. And if you're once a contender, always a contender. I have a feeling it's all the way through.
I don't think that's going to work.
Well, why does she want to keep it till merge then? Why does she want it to keep it till that's the thing?
Well, she wants to make it useless.
No.
That's what she says. I've decided to sit on this till merge.
And think about it. And then build the bond with someone and switch it over. It's crazy.
Oh, it's crazy.
Either way, whether they can use it or not use it after marriage, is ridiculous for her to just let Dave just take it.
To take it.
It's just take her idol.
But anyway.
I mean, now you've got a fake idol that you can potentially bluff and make. Like, that's all you can do.
That's right.
It's a bluff card.
It's a great bluff card, but that's it, I guess going back to Andy for a moment, right? Mm-hmm. I really liked his the reason for Laura going home. Right? His reason for Laura going home was he was like, when they decided Braden was going, hang on, no. Braden's somebody I want to keep around because he's great to take to the end.
Yeah.
And he is. Braden's never going to make any ripples.
No.
Braden's never going to be a threat, and that's what Andy says. No. So it's good thinking on Andy's part.
Yeah, always. So
that's the end of episode 2.
Oh, we've kind of covered all episodes.
Yeah.
What else? Right. What other things do you want to chuck in? Sarah unable to jump?
No.
Not worth it. Okay.
No. Well, I mean, it's not affecting the game. I have no real.
I've just never seen someone like it was like a Suri mode, but wasn't able to overcome it. She just wasn't able to get over that. I can't remember a season.
Because even Kimmy ended up eating, didn't she?
Yeah, I've never seen a Survivor episode where someone
Kimmy
just
was like, "I'm not eating meat,"
and they tried. Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to
look. The only reason there's two ways to look at this. If you want to talk about it, right?
No, I don't want to.
No. It's just I was going to say, look, at one level, if you're going to play Survivor, you got to realise you're going to be in a lot of situations where social and otherwise, physical, right, where you're going to have to overcome your fear.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that. None of the challenges you're in, social or, are going to be normal.
No,
you're not going to be at home. You're not being able to go home after the day's done and go, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, and of course you're able to jump off the thing in the middle of a tsunami because it was life or death. Obviously your adrenaline is peaked, but in Survivor you don't have that. You don't have that adrenaline.
You have to make the choice to face your fears, and I think, perhaps for some people, fear can be really overwhelming. This
I've just never seen
fear is always overwhelming. Yeah. In one sense, like what I mean is, if you give in to fear, it always overwhelms you. It's never I'm feeling a bit fearful today, Rob. How are you?
Yeah, and
and when you're in fear, you are in fear, and it's a whole body reaction, right?
It's just I would have loved to have seen her jump.
Oh, of course,
and realised that it wasn't actually as scary as she thinks, and how proud she would have been of herself. Because to me, the fact that she didn't jump means she cannot win Survivor.
Look, there was exactly, and there's somebody else there, right, who said, "I'm terrified of heights."
Yeah, Abby from the other team,
from the other side. But this is my point. She climbed up to jump, right? Yeah. So what I mean is, like, a fear of heights means just standing up there as putting up the fear. Then to also jump.
Oh yeah, it's interesting because I reckon Hannah, who was like, "I'm not doing it," I reckon she would have been able to jump. I reckon that's really not fair on Hannah to put. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, but I just I love the fact that John came back for her. However, I didn't love the fact that they all left her alone up there.
Look, it was very much when John came back for it. It was very much like when Sarah came back for Suri.
Yes.
Right. Sarah was the first one to dive in the water and go get it. Right? Yeah. So look. I like John, and
John's a great guy. John is just a legend.
Genuine guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's awesome. Doesn't understand the game at all, but God, he loves the game.
That's right.
He just loves being there.
Exactly.
Loves putting everything in because he goes and see him dig through that hole.
You know what I love?
That guy.
I know. Oh, he's a machine. Isn't he?
He's an absolute animal.
But what I loved, when he was talking to Blackie?
Yeah.
They put
he's talking about his footy team in Perth. Love it.
He's talking to Blackie about footy, and he's like,
there's only 6 teams, and we don't get much
of a league.
Yeah, because we don't get to build the bond because we're in the mines all the time.
But then when we do show up, it's all strangers.
Yeah. He's a good guy. John is a really good guy, and God, I hope he goes far, because his social game could make him win. His social game could get him right to the end.
Oh, look, I don't think he's going to make it.
I don't think he is, because he's a big threat.
Well, the other problem is, I don't think he understands the social part of the game. I mean, he's a sociable guy.
He's a very likeable guy.
He's a very likeable guy, but he doesn't understand the social side of the game.
He doesn't understand the politics behind everything.
Exactly.
Love the fact that he bought her a marshmallow at the end. He's just a genuine good dude.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, one other thing is kudos to Luke, right, for realising that Ross, that Nova was picking on Ross.
Yeah.
And for going, that's going to create an opportunity for me.
Oh, yeah, great for Luke. This is what Luke does best. And if you saw, his t-shirt said creeping.
Yeah.
But he just stirs the pot. Ross, you want another banana?
Yeah.
Go get us a banana. I wanted them to smash 3 or 4 of those bananas. I wanted to make it so obvious.
That's right. Half the bananas are
gone.
But no, look, that's what I mean. And this is why it comes when you talk about alliances. It's great. Oh, we've got the numbers. It's not just a numbers game. It is a social game, and you've got to look at how your alliance members are treating each other. Yeah. You got to be aware of what's going on in your alliance.
Yeah.
If you're playing that way, and clearly, as you pointed out, Steve's had got no idea. Neither's ET or Blackie, right? Because if ET, Blackie, or Steve had any idea, they would have seen Nova picking on Ross and got, hey, Nova, tone it down.
Yeah.
Right. That's going to just push him away.
Exactly.
Right? That's going to create an opportunity. They never thought of that. Good on Luke. But
Luke just took it and ran with it. And that's what Luke's going to do best. He's going to see an opportunity and he's going to take it. He's going to exploit it. And he's going to do what Luke does best.
Exactly.
How good was his line to say when Susie was going home? Good luck with your next... I don't know if it's like, good luck with your next swim.
That's right.
Back to Australia. He's good. He's so good.
Look, I love Luke. I do.
Yeah.
I love him. Look, you can imagine him and John.
Yeah, I can't wait for that to happen. I hope that happens.
Maybe a couple of guys that definitely get together.
Maybe Luke is a bit too cheeky for John. John isn't really a cheeky.
Yeah, true. He's a pretty serious guy, actually. Yeah, pretty serious. Look, I don't think I've got much to say about the other 2 episodes, right?
Covered most.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to think of highlights that popped up. We've talked strategy. We've talked the idol. Obviously, we're not. What I would have wanted to see. This is going back to editing. Once we saw that switch of the fake idol and the real idol, I would have loved a quick little hit of the contenders before we hit up the champions, just to see how what happened with that idol. We have to wait till Sunday now to find out what happened with that. But yeah.
No, look, I think that pretty much covers everything. Which is kind of unfortunate because really that's the sort of coverage we give to a normal episode of American Survivor.
Well, there's a lot of just bonding at the moment. Hopefully we'll get more. And it's hard because there's not as many strategically minded players. You know, for someone...
No, that's right.
Like, Pia says she's watched a lot of the game, but she's not playing very... Like, even the fact that she was so timid to voice up and stand up against Nova in that tribal, when she's like, actually, no, you might have been there for this other stuff, but I was there when it kind of got pretty heated. Like, Nova... Pia could stand up there. Pia could have a bit more fight in her. She's kind of just floating. And that might be great for her. That might be the game she's trying to play. But I'd want more from someone who says they're a big fan of the game. You know, I want more from, you know, these people the very few people who are fans of the game. I want to be seeing what we're seeing with Luke. I want Andy to be able to play a bit better. I think Sean might know the game.
At the end of the day, I want contenders to go to the next tribal. They've not been there for 3 now.
3, yeah.
Right? They need to go back to tribal because that's the only way they're going to evolve.
Yeah.
We need them at tribal.
I know, but just like we said, we know the production team were pushing the contenders, want to give them the biggest advantage possible to win this season. So we're setting up for a tri-series this year.
Say, you know, with the footy challenge, I was like, if you get like Black Abby and DT up there to kick, right?
I know.
When are they going to miss?
But that was the thing. It's like. But you know what else was a bit like the jerk, whoever was I don't know who it was on the outside telling Abby how to kick the football.
I know,
guys.
Guys,
Abby can kick. Abby's the first woman to kick 100 goals in
she knows how to kick
She can kick a footy, guys. We don't need... Just
And
hold
you know,
it and give it a good... She's fine, mate. She's fine. Stop being a dick.
As soon as I saw what the challenge is, I was like, I bet Simon Black's the first kicker, and sure enough,
Abby will be second. Simon Black, Abby, Simon Black, Abby. That's all I thought it was going to be. I thought, E.T. got 1 kick. I didn't think he would.
Right. But no.
Or when was it E.T. that ripped John off, or John just fell right in? John's just putting everything.
Rugby. He's rugby,
John's
so
putting everything on the line.
I know, but you know, he's a rugby player, so he knows how to use his body to get the ball, right? But I was like laughing. I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Yep, Simon's kicking. There's a goal."
Yep, Abby's kicking. Doesn't even look. None of them look like missing at all.
Exactly, not even close.
Not even close to missing. Right? So, like, this game is not going to go well for the contenders. This is a loss.
And you had Sean giving them the ball, you know? It's like trying to give them the ball. He'd do these long passes.
Yeah, too long.
Exactly, right? Zoom.
Yeah.
And then one of them would run up again. That was funny.
Yeah.
So, but no, I like the challenges and everything. No, we'll see next time.
All right, that's it. That's it from us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed as well.
Yep.
I'm loving it. I love it.
Yeah.
So it's fine with me.
All right.
See you next week.
Bye. Bye.